Ayubowan Vedana Vedananupassi Viharati. Live your day with awareness of feelings so that you understand the true nature of them. That gives a little indication of what we are about to discuss today through DHAMMA HADAYA. So to this program, I have invited somebody you have already met, but let me introduce her to you once again. She is none other than Dr. Shiroma Bandara, a dentist by profession. She used to be a dentist but had an early retirement because she decided it is high time that she followed the footsteps of Buddha to the path leading towards the goal of Nibbana. Ma'am, we warmly welcome you to DHAMMA HADAYA. And during our last program, I think we discussed about walking meditation, basically Kaya Anupassana. So I'm sure there are lots of viewers today with us, and there may be new viewers. So because of them, on behalf of those viewers, I would like you to remind them a little of Kaya Anupassana before we start talking about the particular topic we are about to discuss today.
Yes, I think that is a good idea. So last time we started discussions on the Satipatthana, the Satara Satipatthana, and started with Kaya Anupassana, Kaya Anupassati Viharati. So and we did a few meditations, and we discussed about the anapanasati meditation and the walking meditation. If we recap what we discussed, the anapanasati meditation, we based it on the Anapanasati Sutra in Majjhima Nikaya. It's a beautiful sutra with 16 steps, and the first step being watch the long in-breath as the long in-breath, and the 16th step happens to be Nibbana. So it's a very useful, insightful, beautiful sutra to keep as a reference point in your meditation, Anapanasati meditation. And we actually did the first 4 steps together here. And just to recap the importance of those 4 steps, we watched the in-breath as the in-breath and the out-breath as out-breath. And then we watched when the in-breath was there, the out-breath wasn't there. And when the out-breath was there, in-breath wasn't there. So this gives an indication to the mind that when one defilement or one arising of one Chaitasika happens in the mind, rest of the others can't be there. It's just one. So in fact, if we think, oh my goodness, we have 1,200 defilements to battle with and watch, and it's a huge amount of keles that we have to conquer. In fact, it is just one. Every moment. It's just one, because it only is one arising at one point. 2 can't arise at the same time. And the mind will actually absorb this truth when you do this Anapanasati meditation and watch that the in-breath is there, the out-breath isn't there. And when the out-breath is there, as you exhale, there is no in-breath. Try that and see, it's very powerful as you begin the Anapanasati meditation. And then we watched how that breath became shorter. And if you remember, then we were becoming aware of 11 qualities of the breath, because Buddha talks about Rupa Skandha, and what makes it a skandha is those 11 qualities of it. And that 11 qualities existed in the past, and it will exist in the future, and is existing right now. So we watch those 11 qualities, how it is pleasant, unpleasant, and it's whether it's sweet or it's rough or it's smooth, whether it's external, internal, or in the past, present, and the future, far away or near us. So we watch how it arose at that particular time.
Yeah.
And then we also discussed, if you're watching the 11 qualities, we can't have a bad meditation day, because either the rough and the dispersive and the unpleasant side arise, or the pleasant, sweet and smooth side arise.
Yeah.
So to watch all 11, we have to watch both sides. That means there can't be a bad meditation day.
Definitely.
And then we waited till the breath became even shorter, so small that the in-breath and out-breath was just moving. And then you tend to ask yourself, who's calling this in-breath and the other one out-breath? They're so the same phenomena happening here, arising and a passing, arising and a passing. And then you wonder, who's calling things good or bad, right or wrong, black and white? Where is this judgment? So as your mind is going to the present moment, more and more towards present moment, you fall into a non-judgmental, evenly suspended awareness. Just watching how things arise and pass. And cause and effect process, your mind goes to tranquility and upeksha, equanimity, and you're at peace, because whatever happens arise and pass. And the fourth step, we watched how it just disappeared. So here, this is a bit of a difficult place for people, because to just let go of the breath, meaning letting go of the whole of the body, and that the mind has never done before. So you get agitated and fearful and open your eyes. So just go with confidence and go and allow that to just disappear. So this place where the breath is just gone, and there is no particular happiness or unhappiness, and it's just in the middle with no particular pleasantness or unpleasantness, is actually coming to a place of Vedananupassana. That place we can call as the adukkham sukha place, which we will discuss in detail later on.
Yeah.
So that was the profound 4 steps we did, which I would urge everyone to go and practice. And with the Dhamma behind you, your mind will definitely change, and your Sammaditthi, the right view, will start developing as you sit and just watch these 4 steps in your breathing.
Okay.
So that's the main thing to take from that.
Yeah.
And then we did the walking meditation, and you beautifully walked and did the meditation for us. And here also we were doing, first we did just left, right, in a bit of a fast pace, because that will get our minds to fall into a samadhi. And it happens whenever your mind is dispersive. This is a thing to do. Just do some walking meditation for 10 minutes, little fast than normal, and then come and sit, and your samadhi will grow beautifully. And then we came to Vipassana, where we watched how the mind gave an instruction and the body followed it, like lifting and then taking it forward and putting it down. So this is like cause and effect. The mind is giving the intention arising from the mind, and the body reacting to it. So, and then you tend to absorb this fact that isn't this what happens morning till night? Just a cause and effect process and instruction and following instruction. And then a step further we did to watch how when the intention disappeared completely and the action disappeared completely. Without a trace. The intention disappears completely without a trace, without any remnants, and the body which followed with action disappeared. So there was nothing to hook onto, nothing remaining. And that is exactly what happens through the day. So that is very insightful to understand and absorb. And the last step was also quite insightful. We watched the mentality, materiality, where when the heel touched the carpet, there was 2 materials touching, and as the 2 materials touched, the mind arose there, and the mental component arises, and touch sensation arise, and that we followed. As you lift the leg up, the contact is broken, and the mind disappears or die, and then the sensation disappears. So it's again a cause and effect process of mentality and materiality. So quite profound, that 2 meditations we did.
Yeah, sure. Now, ma'am, when we talk about Kayanupassana, I have very often heard of or seen some meditators doing a particular scanning process of the body.
Yes, that's a very profound meditation. Have you done it before?
Yes, sort of.
Yes. We can try and do it again, and we will try to inject insight into it as we do it, so that the whole purpose of these meditations is that your view has to change. It's not a case of just doing the meditation and walking away. The samadhi has to change, and it will change when the mind watches this and absorbs this new truth. Just like a little boy will go and put your hand in the fire and it feels the hotness and burns the fingers, will never put the hand again there, because this new knowledge goes into him. Fire will burn, and that no one can erase. So again, the samadhi that develops here will be ingrained change in you. So should we do that?
Yeah, why not? We'll do.
Okay. So let's all do this together and try and do it with us and see how it goes. So let's sit comfortably with the whole body relaxed, all your muscles relaxing, stresses and strains seeping out through the cushion, the back erect but at ease. The mind is set in the present moment. Everything that happened in the past has arisen and passed. So it is non-existent. The future hasn't arisen yet. It's non-existent. And here and now, the present moment, arising, passing, and flowing. Let's just get absorbed into this silence, serenity, and peace in the environment. The mind is somewhat calm now and one-pointed. Let's bring the awareness to the top of the head, to the crown of the head. Just see what sensations arise, any tugging, pulling. Let's sweep around the scalp, slowly and mindfully, arising of sensations, itchiness, scratchiness, pulling, tugging, round to the neck. Bring the awareness to the forehead and down the cheeks. Coolness, itchy sensations, tingling. The awareness arising where there is a tug and a pull, a new sensation arising. To the neck area where the clothes touch the base of the neck, material touching, and mental component arising. Down the back, the clothes touch, there's a touch sensation, muscles tightening, the the back touching the cushion. And there is material rupa, material of back rupa, the mind arising and the nama arising. That's the sensation of touch sensation. Again, from the neck downwards, the chest area, clothes touching the chest, tightening, the rising of touch feeling, waist area, the arms touching the side of the body. Wherever there is touch sensation, there is two materials touching and the mind arising. Hand on hand, hand and leg, touch sensation, legs on the carpet, leg on leg, and cool wind touching the sole of the feet, coolness. Sensations arising where consciousness is arising. Let's bring the awareness to the top of the head again, and this time, just as the sensations arise around the scalp, let's put our mind into the passing of sensations. If you can, it is a bit difficult. Wherever a new sensation arises, the old one passes. Let's go as passing, 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 round the face. Here, just as you pass, that area goes to darkness, non-existent, and the new arising arise, just like a torch light, scanning your body. Rest of the body is in darkness, non-existent. Down the neck area, passing, passing, side of the body, down the back, from the neck downwards. Sensations passing and arising, passing, 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 to the back, from the neck down the chest, to the stomach. As it passes, it goes to darkness, and a rising happens, moving forward down the legs, to the toes, wherever there are two material rising and passing. Let's bring the awareness back to the top of the head. This time you can go deep inside the body, the scalp, the thickness of the scalp, tight sensations arising, passing into the muscles, into the neck muscles, the body muscles and the organs. Sensations of tightness, crushing, squeezing, muscle on muscle, muscle on bone, tightness, bone on bone, right inside the body, organs on organs. All sensations arising because of two materials arising, the consciousness arising there. Down the legs, leg muscle on leg muscle, and bone on bone. crushing sensation, tightness, rising and passing, 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 passing. Okay, we can take a deep breath and open the eyes.
Well, I actually didn't want to open my eyes. I did it because you asked me to. And ma'am, just one question now. From Kaya-anupassana, I felt as if you moved into Vedana-anupassana by thinking of sensations.
Yeah,
did you?
That's a good question
Yeah.
that everyone gets a bit mixed up.
Yeah.
Because sensation is different to feeling.
Okay.
So Vedananu
right.
is a feeling. So what happens is when the two materials touch, like if I touch the knee like this, the two rupa touch, the touch sensation, if I did that, before feeling comes, the touch sensation
Okay.
is called danima.
Right.
It's a sensation.
Okay.
And then comes, do I like that, pleasant or unpleasant? So that is the feeling. And then identification, and then the mental formations and all in the consciousness. So the first at contact, what happens is the sensation, which is danima, then feeling vindima. There's a difference there. So all through this meditation, what we did was we tried to catch the sensation, which is called danima, which is different to vidima.
Okay.
Feeling.
Right.
Feeling is more like, dislike, or pleasant, unpleasant, or neither pleasant nor unpleasant.
Like dukkha vedana,
Sukha vedana.
sukha vedana, and adukkham sukha
Sukha
vedana.
vedana.
Okay.
Yes, I think that will be a good start to talk about
Yeah.
Vedana-anupassana, and then we actually separated it out. Lots of people get this mixed up and they say this is feeling, I'm feeling. This is actually a sensation, according to Buddha, how he explained the 5 aggregates. Passa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankara, Vijnana. This is where at Passa level we are trying to catch the sensations here. So it is kind of through feeling we get it, but we can in our mind awareness just be aware it is pure sensation there. So coming back to Vedana-anupassana, as you said, in Satipatthana, Buddha says, idame bhikkhave bhikkhu atapi sati sampajano. Vedana Vedana-anupassana viharati. Vineya loke abhinya domanasang. So atapi sati sampajano means the effort to combat this defilements and to find the absolute truth, the wisdom to see through the absolute truth, and the mindfulness, atapi sati sampajano. So that is the 3 ingredients we have to put in Kaya-anupassana, Vedana-anupassana, Chitta-anupassana, and Dhamma-anupassana. Atapi, the effort, mindfulness, sati, with wisdom, sampajanya. So when we talk about Vedana-anupassana, this Chula Vedalla Sutra comes to my mind, and it has a beautiful little story you must have heard. There is this Sittu and the wife living quite close to Buddha in Rajagaha, and both of them were meditating and going to see Buddha often. And one day, and every time that the husband comes home, this wife, they lived very happily with each other, would go forward and greet the husband, come to the house with him and have food together and dinner together, and they lived very happily. And Dhammalina, the wife, she's one of my favorite Rahat Mehenin Wahanses, but at that time she was wife of Visakha, Sittu, and she was very mischievous and got into all kinds of pranks and was
Okay.
very happy and lively and joyful person. So this particular day as well, when Visakha came back after meeting with Buddha, she ran forward to greet him and put her arms round and hug him, and he moved back and didn't allow her to do that. And she was wondering what's wrong today, but without uttering a word, she goes in and offers the meal, and later on asks him, why did you behave like that and you rejected me? Have I done something wrong? And he said no. Then she says, is there someone else your affection has gone to? And he says no. So then she asks why, and he says, well, I went to see Buddha and I meditated, and now my mind has reached a level that I do not appreciate love and affection, and I do not appreciate all the physical contact anymore. Then he says he wants to leave and go and meditate with Buddha. And she says, you live happily, you take all this wealth and live happily. And she says, no, if you are going, I'm going as well, and we will just auction all this and go and meditate. And I'm sure things like that happen between couples even today.
Yes,
Probably
yes,
does.
very rarely, but yes.
Yeah. So I'm sure there are people who live happily like that. So
Once in a blue moon, though.
Yes. So in the end, what they decide to do, they auctioned all their goods and whatever belongings they had, and then Visakha said, let's go, but on one condition, I must go to one side and you have to go to the opposite direction, otherwise we won't be able to do this. So she agreed, and he stayed with Buddha, and she went to Buddha, got her kamatahan, and she went far away. So after a few months she comes back, and now Visakha is wondering, oh, here she comes back, I wonder what she did, I wonder whether she gave it up, I wonder whether she's attained something. I'll better start a discussion and ask her. So here he asks about her a lot of Dhamma questions, and there is a section on Vedana, on that. And he asks her, do you know about feeling? And he said yes. What are feelings? And she said there is the pleasant feeling, unpleasant feeling, and the neither pleasant nor unpleasant feeling, dukkha, sukha, adukkham sukha. Then he asked, what is the difference between them? And she says, when sukha arises, it's happiness, but when sukha leaves, it's unhappiness. When dukkha arises, it's unhappiness, dukkha. When dukkha leaves, it's sukha, happiness. And adukkham sukha, she says, if you know about it, you're wise. If you don't know about it, you're ignorant. And if you know about it, there is sukha. If you don't know about it, there is dukkha. Right? And then he asks, what is the cause of these feelings to arise? And he says, dukkha arises because of the dvesha mula, and the sukha arises because of the lobha mula.
Craving.
And, yes, craving and anger, or patiga anger, and aversion, or adukkham sukha because of the moha or delusion feeling. So, they have this. Then to go on from there, Visakha asks, what is on the other side of this delusion or ignorance? And he says the other side of ignorance is clear vision. And what is the other side of clear vision? And he says other side of clear vision is release. And what is the other side of release? The other side of release is unbinding. And he goes and asks, what is the other side of unbinding? And then she says, you've gone too far. And that's all the answers I'm going to give you. And she stops at that. And then he's very impressed, and then he goes to Buddha and says, these are the questions I asked her, and this is what she answered, Dhammadinna. And says, what do you say asked Buddha. And Buddha says every word she answered would be the words I would answer with. And this is exactly the words that are the answers to these questions. So he realizes that she had attained arhathood. And so they continue their meditations, living around the Buddha. So coming back to that beautiful explanation she gives, the sukha, when it comes it's happiness, but when it leaves it's unhappiness, it's dukkha. Dukkha, when it comes it's dukkha, when it goes it's sukha. But adukkham sukha is, if you think of a pendulum which goes to one side, to one extreme, and the other is dukkha and sukha, and when it settles in the middle it's kind of like adukkham sukha, neither pleasant nor unpleasant. And most of the time our moods fluctuate from pleasant to unpleasant, but settles at neither pleasant nor unpleasant adukkham sukha stage. And through the day, whenever we are just calm and there's no happiness or unhappiness, 90% of the time we are working, we are doing our housework, everything we have to do, and we are calmly doing it without any fluctuations. There we are in adukkham sukha. And no one appreciates it. As Dhammadina says, if you know that you're in adukkham sukha, you're in happiness. If you don't know that you are in adukkham sukha, you will go to find some sukha. You will be looking for things to read a magazine, watch TV, or listen to the radio to fluctuate to either extreme. So that is where she said, if you know about it, you are happy. If you don't know about it, you are unhappy. And so that is what you have to appreciate whenever we are at home doing our work, but particularly not feeling any pleasantness or unpleasantness. Be content there. Then you're happy there, knowing that is the path to Nibbana, because it's not an excited stage, it's not pleasure, full of pleasure or full of anger. So it's between that, and here is the path. It's nivima, it's Nibbana. So it's the path to Nibbana. So appreciate that, be with that, and even letting go of that, you go deeper, as Visakha Dhammadina explained, to the unbinding through that. So that is adukkham sukha. Now perhaps if you think through this meditation, again referring to the anapanasati meditation, in the Satipatthana Anapanasati Sutra, Buddha explains the first 4 steps are of actually Kayanupassana. And then you fall into Vedananupassana, where the mind, the awareness has left the breath and is just there with pleasant sensation, and how the pleasant priti becomes sukha, and priti and sukha leaves, and you fall into adukkham sukha. Then there, at that stage, that like boring, nothing exciting, just plain, mundane feeling you get there is that adukkham sukha. And just be with that and not get up and go and say, oh, this meditation is not working. Just be with that and appreciate that. And then you go through that towards Nibbana.
Well, ma'am, now I think there's one thing that I would like to clarify now. According to your explanation, that Vedananupassana or Vedana feelings include all 3: Sukha Vedana, pleasant feelings, unpleasant feelings, Dukkha Vedana, and Adukkhama Sukha Vedana, neither pleasant nor unpleasant feelings. I just reminded this because most of us, when we say Vedana, they just happen to, think of pains only. So it includes all 3. So I think...
in fact, we can go a bit further. Because these 3 sensations, like pleasant, unpleasant, and adukkhama sukha, are from, if I say they are samisa Samisa means from the worldly, through the six senses, what comes through the six senses.
Yeah.
Samisa dukkha, samisa sukha, and samisa adukkham sukha. Then we can think about the inner happiness through meditation and going inwards.
Yeah.
There is niramisa dukkha, sukha, dukkha, and niramisa adukkham sukha. That is having the pleasant sensations, inner pleasantness, inner unpleasantness, I can't meditate, and that agitation. Or adukkham dukkha, again thinking I can't proceed from here, and creating an agitation inside. So there is 6. In fact, this Chula Vedalla Sutra, it goes to say the 6 into the 6 senses is 36, and again if you put it to the 3, past, present and future, and it can go on till 108 types of feeling.
Okay.
And also in Abhidhamma, and I had heard venerable monks explaining about Vedana being section to 1 or 2 or 3, 4, 5, 6 categories. But basically if we watch the 6 arising and passing in our mind and through the 6 senses, that would be adequate for our Vipassana meditations.
Now, ma'am, now for example, if we take now that bliss you get through meditation, the bliss that, that happiness you get after doing some meditation, is it the Niramisa Sukha Vedana?
Yes.
So I just gave an example for clarification. Okay, so can we move into Chittanupassana?
Actually, Vedananupassana meditations we did with the anapanasati meditation, and if I go through catching, you mentioned about pain and all that, catching with actually doing Vedananupassana. One way we do Vedananupassana is just when we meditate, we carry on meditating, doing anapanasati as normal, trying to develop our samadhi. Suddenly you get a knee pain, very common. And then there you are. The first thing is we don't have any aversion to the knee pain, but we can utilize that time to do Vedananupassana. And then what happens, the object of the meditation, the aramuna, becomes the secondary aramuna, which is the knee pain. And then we concentrate and put our awareness to the pain, and we watch the pain. And we watch the pain. When we catch the pain, it is actually the middle of the pain. And we watch the pain intently, how it arise and pass. With the samadhi mind, you will see like a throb, arising, passing. And then if you can do this, if you focus on to all the arising, you will see how the pain persists, and as the passing, you will see how the pain disappears to niruddha, passing of pain. And the whole phenomena of that arising, passing will also pass away. It will go to a peak, and then might be a lot of people get up or move the legs because it's peak and think this will never end. But it does. If there is a beginning, if there is a middle, there will be an end. So if you can go through that peak, you will find the peak also, it arises and passes, and eventually it passes away. Here, with Vedananupassana, Vedananupassi Viharati, is to know insightfully exactly what happens, the Yatha Bhuta Jnana of Vedana. So you see it arising, you see it staying, you see it passing, and you see the quality of pain. And here, most importantly, you have to see that 11 qualities of the pain again. That makes it the Vedana skandha of the aggregates. So you see how it's pleasant, or it's rough, or it's uniform, or it's dispersive, or it's near or far, or this is the way it was, and it is, and it will be. So you learn about Vedana. That is through the body sensation. Then we talked about the anapana meditation sensation, and then there's another way you can watch Vedana is by your thought waves. You have a thought, painful thoughts, dukkha feelings. You have, say, some trauma has happened and you're constantly feeling sad. So you do Vedana-anupassana. Watch how it arises, watch how it's persisting, knowing it will pass. Believe me, the suffering will just disappear so quickly, and it will be an exercise for you.
And it's an opportunity to practice.
Absolutely. You take it, the badaka as a sadhaka, the obstacle as a favorable thing for you. So through your mind feelings of pain, body feelings of pain, your anapanasati, as well as you can do this with walking meditation beautifully. When you walk, any pains, concentrate on that, focus on that, pleasantness, unpleasantness, and suddenly you will see the pleasantness rise past, unpleasantness rise past, and mind falls back into like a matrix, back matrix, where the pleasantness arise past, unpleasantness arise past, and there is a matrix where there's neither that or this. So if you fall into that matrix, you could see how impermanent. And what you learn from this is that it comes when it wants to come. It goes, we have no control. It's anatta, and it happens because of cause and effect. And also it is anicca, arising, passing, and there is no I there. And of course, every arising is a dukkha. Anicca, dukkha, anatta. You see the reality of Vedana.
Okay, so that is Vedana. So I think, ma'am, we have around another 7 minutes. Anything else that you would like to add? Are we going forward with this Satipatthana? After Vedana-anupassana, are we about to move into Chitta-anupassana today?
Yes, we can do that. And again, Chitta-anupassana is about Atapi Sati Sampajanyo, with effort and mindfulness and wisdom. We look at our thought waves and bundles of thoughts moving, and we are watching thoughts. As we mentioned, it's a good to practice. If you have suddenly a bereavement or some trauma happened in your life and you're feeling sad and agitated, it's good to do Vedana-anupassana. If there is some some
anger,
some calamity that's happened in your society, and you're very upset and you're angry and irritated, and there's aversion in you, a day like that, it's very good to say, I'm going to watch my thoughts, because they're so dispersive and causing me suffering. So that on those days you can start watching your thoughts, and you will see how thoughts also, you will find them middle of thought waves, and as you watch, you will start getting to the beginning of thoughts. That is the idea. Try and catch the thought as in the beginning. So in the beginning you will see the middle and the end, and then later on you will go backwards and catch it at the beginning. And every ending will give you release and a gap and a beginning. As it begins, you'll start thinking dukkha arising, a thought arising, dukkha arising. And then you're in the middle, you're calm, and you have equanimity, because it's going to pass. And it passes niruddha, and then there's release. And then you know again it's going to start again. Why? Because you're born, it will happen. Jatipi dukkha, and you're born, it will happen. And a thought being born, Jatipi dukkha, birth of a thought. And there are some meditators who have come and told me they have gone to good samadhi, and suddenly, bang, a thought comes. She says, feels the thought arising, like pop, and says, oh, what a nuisance, this thought. Dukkha. Dukkha. So birth of a thought is dukkha. So they realize. And then, well, of course, you are in equanimity, because you know it's going to pass. So you know the reality of beginning, middle and end, and that is the way you will handle when anger comes. or lust comes or any cravings come, you're watching it and you will get anger in the middle at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then knowing that it is going to pass, you can control, you can be steady and calm. And as you practice this more and more, and again I can bring you to the anapanasati meditation where we practice the beginning, middle and end of every breath. We are practicing, training our mind to catch the anger at the beginning as well. And the mind knows that every phenomena, every dhammata that arises, if it has a middle, it will end, and there is a beginning, middle and an end. So no one can shake you. You are unshaken, unstirred, calm, knowing the reality.
Knowing the reality, because you know, even if you feel sad, there'll be a beginning and the middle and the dying of that thought. So that's another opportunity. But ma'am, now what if there is someone who's annoying you constantly? Like how can you handle that situation?
Yes, that's a very good question, a practical application of it. Yeah, someone is annoying, say shouting at you. If you have practiced this Satipatthana very much, you could go, you have to focus inwards first thing, go inwards and watch. If this is for a practitioner who has done, because I will follow the trend, and focus inwards and catch it in the beginning or in the middle. If you catch it, you know anger has arisen in me more than he shouting at me. Anger has arisen in me.
Dvesha, anger.
Yes, and then that 5 seconds where you have caught it is enough. It's more than enough. You get that gap and you caught it, mindfulness has come to the situation, you know it's passing, absolutely calm. And you wait till that finishes. So that calmness will give you mindfulness, and the wisdom in the present moment will make you respond, if you need to respond, in a very wise way, without anger, without malice, without reacting to his words, but in wisdom. So that is one way of dealing with this, with Vipassana. But of course, if you haven't, we have all heard about someone annoying you, angry thoughts, and you drink a glass of water, walk away, or count to 10. Yes, you can do all that. And then in a long term, you can do a lot of metta and think of what they have done to you, some good things, and try and get the anger dispersed. But the main thing from Vipassana is to catch it when anger comes, not to retort, not to retaliate, not to react, but later respond. There's no harm in responding and talking, explaining and getting the practical issues in place. You need to do that, otherwise it can flare up again.
It's just that you don't act in anger.
Yes,
you don't take decisions in haste and anger.
You don't, if you don't react, but you respond mindfully.
Okay. Well, I think we have had a very, very in-depth discussion about Satipatthana, and thank you so much, Dr. Shiroma, for sharing this knowledge and practical experience, I would say, on Satipatthana as well as meditation. I'm sure our viewers out there would like to talk to us, would like to have a discussion, would like to forward their questions. Would you mind giving your email address to them?
No, not at all. I would really welcome response or questions or any Dhamma discussion on these subjects. And my email, the simple one is shiroma@hotmail.co.uk. That is shiroma@hotmail.co.uk.
Thank you so much. And please write to us, or you can straight away forward your questions to Dr. Shiroma Bandara. So let us meet on the next week as well with the continuation of this discussion on Satipatthana. Thank you so much, and may the most noble triple gem bless you.